RW's old man is here. He is back, and I'm a little under the weather. Had an eye appointment this morning, and had to get an eye injection and trying to make my left eye a little bit less blurry. Sucks, but hey, it's necessary. But what's also necessary is giving you guys some daily product. We got to keep doing it. We are relentless. We will keep doing this until we cannot do it no longer. And so I am here with my daily installment of the Random Mass Daily Match Review. And you know what that means? That means we have a match involving Brodie Lee and Cody. Right on. This is Brodie Lee's last match, and Dylan chose this. I think he's a pretty big fan of Brodie Lee. And we did a Brodie Lee review not too long ago, so check it out on RW Podcasts. So we go into the video, and we have a nice hype package. I mean, like, the hype packages are essential. I mean, not many feuds don't need one, but even this one does. And so we go to the ring, and Justin Roberts. Oh, I'm sorry. This match is on AEW Dynamite on October 7th, 2020. And this is a dog collar match for the TNT Championship. Yes, indeed. It is for the title. Brodie Lee comes in as champion. Then Greg Valentine is introduced, and he is brought here because he was involved in the one of the more infamous dog collar matches you ever saw back in 1983 against Roddy Piper. So introducing first is, I'll introduce first the challenger. He comes down to the ring with Brandy Rhodes and Arn Anderson. He is the American Nightmare with a win-loss record of 18-2. This guy is freaking killing it. And this is Cody. And his opponent with Anna Jay and John Silver with a one-loss record of 8 wins and a loss. He is the current reigning defending TNT champion. We have Brodie Lee. And right before we get to the match, I'm going to pop this beer. And we are going to go to the ring where we see that Cody is ready. We see that Brodie Lee is ready. The crowd is ready. The dog collar is ready. The ref says ring the bell, and here we go. Ding, dang. All right. So we start the match with John Silver hopping up to the widest apron in all professional wrestling and stands right next to Brodie. And then a tug of war commences between Brodie and Cody, which Brodie wins easily. And as he pulls Cody in, Cody goes straight to Silver and nails him right in the face with a chain. And Silver bumps to the floor, and then we see that he's busted open. So right away, we get Silver with some juice. Brodie with a big boot to Cody. Brodie drops an elbow on Cody. Brodie kicks Cody in the back and follows it up with a scoop slam. Tony Schiavone mentions the 83 dog collar match because he was there. He was one of the interview guys in the back, and he talks about how these guys were busted up and bruised, and all kinds of mayhem ensued in the ring. And he brings up Gordon Solie and Bob Caudle, and I'm for the little that I saw of them, I was big fans as well, which makes sense because I'm also a big fan of Jim Ross, and he comes from the school of Solie and Caudle. So that's a little bit of reminiscing for me. But anyway, back to the match. Brodie drops a second big elbow on Cody for a 2 count. Brodie wraps a chain around his arm, goes for another elbow drop, but Cody dodges the elbow attempt. Brodie walks around Cody. Brodie walks towards Cody, and Cody proceeds to kick Brodie in the face. Cody hits Brodie. Sorry about all this rhyming stuff. I'm a poet. I don't even know it. Cody hits Brodie with 2 clotheslines, and Brodie won't leave his feet. So then Cody does his drop-down punch move to Brodie. Cody hops up to the top rope, but Brodie pulls Cody off the rope using the chain. Brodie drops Cody to the floor by the chain. Brodie picks up Cody for an atomic drop, but wham! Drops Cody face first on the widest apron in professional wrestling. Nice move. I love that stuff. Yeah, I thought it was going to be an atomic drop. Brodie tells the busted up Silver to sit in this chair, and I'm like, okay, here you go. Hey, John, take a load off. But wham! Out of nowhere, Cody absolutely crushes Silver with a drop kick. Just crushes him right in the friggin' head. Cody was aiming for Brodie, but Brodie moved out of the way. Referring to Silver, JR says, hey, Brodie, don't do me any more favors. I'll take my own chairs, thank you. I love JR. I don't know how he does it. Brodie gets back in the ring and begins to drag Cody back into the ring via the chain. Brodie extends his part of the chain between two hands and hits Cody right in the throat with it. Brodie makes a small pile of chain and hits Cody with a DDT on the chain. Anna Jay, we see Anna Jay come out at this point to gather up what's left of John Silver and escorts him to the back. Hi, Anna. Miss you. Cody is busted open over the right eye as a result of the DDT, and Brodie attacks that eye with the chain. He's just kind of just grinding it in his face. Cody sells to the apron where Brodie hits Cody with an elbow, followed up by an eye gouge, so he's continuing to go after the wound. Good stuff. Brodie continues to crush Cody with elbows and chops. Brodie whips Cody off the ropes, but Cody slides between Brodie's legs and then proceeds to use the chain to crush Brodie and his Exalted Ones. Cody follows up with a side Russian leg sweep with help from the chain. Cody chant breaks out. At the same time, Cody starts to fire up by punching the wound above his own eye. He's just trying to get the adrenaline running, fire himself up. Brodie gets out of the ring, but he isn't going very far because Cody just pulled Brodie back to the side of the ring using the chain. Cody does a really nice tope suicida to Brodie. So Brodie responds with a few. Cody hits Brodie's back with a few clubbing forearms, but Brodie responds by tossing Cody over the barricade. Brodie follows up by pulling Cody into the barricade with the chain twice. Brodie pulls Cody over the barricade using the chain. Brodie pulls out the timekeeper's cable and sets it up by the side of the ring. Brodie throws two chairs in the ring. We proceed up to the apron where Brodie stalks Cody, but Cody manages to get two punches in on Brodie. Cody drops off the apron and pulls Brodie off the apron and destroys Brodie Lee with a beautiful cutter. Wham! Both men are now down. Crowd pops. Good stuff. Nice. Perfect timing. Cody's up first and gets back in the ring. A Let's Go Cody chant breaks out. Brodie gets back to the apron, and Cody runs at Brodie and nails Brodie with a punch. And Brodie holds onto the ropes to avoid being pushed Brodie holds onto the ropes to avoid falling through the table. Cody hits Brodie with a disaster kick, and Brodie again avoids the table by falling onto the apron. So now Cody goes out to the apron, and Cody gathers up Brodie Lee into what's it? Oh boy. Cody nails Brodie, and Cody delivers Brodie via small package DDT style through the table. Wham! Cody, jeez, that looked. We see Cody get up first, and he fires himself up again by punching his wound. Wow, Brodie is busted open. Wow, half his face is bloody. Okay, so now since both guys are busted open, makes you wonder who's going to overcome the pain and get the job done. Somebody has to win. All right, so back in the ring, Cody gets a 2 count on Brodie. Cody fires up by slapping the mat. Crowd claps along. Both men are doing a great job at this point of selling, and it gets better and better. I love this stuff. You know how I do with selling. Cody is switching gears. He's the one now doing the stalking. He sees blood and he smells blood, and he wants to, and he's going in for the kill. Cody yells at Brodie, "Get up, get up!" And then he proceeds to nail Brodie with the chain a couple times and follows up with a facebuster. Cody whips Brodie with the chain twice and then punches Brodie in the face with the chain twice. So he's going after Brodie. He wants to win. Cody continues to be able to get the crowd in the palm of his hand. All he has to do is look out at the crowd or make some kind of noise or a gesture, and the crowd's right with him. He's so good at getting the crowd in the palms of his hands. Cody punches Brodie into the corner. Cody then proceeds to wrap the chain around the ring post and proceeds to kind of like choke Brodie with the chain. Cody removes the chain from the ring post and then smashes Brodie's head into another turnbuckle. Cody wraps the chain around his wrist 4 times, places it on the top turnbuckle, and then smashes Brodie's head into it. Brodie at this point, he's been taking a beating. Cody wants and needs this match. He has to win. He's pulling out all the stops. He's doing what he can. He's taking these drastic measures. So now you want to know, can Brodie make the comeback? Only one way to find out. JR with a nice quote. They don't have dog collar match lessons at wrestling school. Good stuff, JR. Cody attempts to whip Brodie off the ropes, but Brodie throws Cody over the top rope and proceeds to hang Cody on the side of the ring. That we get a mention of that was used in the 83 match with Valentine and Piper, and then we go to a shot of Valentine, who I guess knows what that felt like because he's the guy who received that move from Piper. Cody saves himself by climbing back over the top rope. Brodie hits Cody with a spinning side slam for a 2 count. Now it's Brodie's turn with a chain. Cody takes multiple punches from the chained fist of Brodie. Brodie picks up a chair and flings it over Arn Anderson's head to the ring actresses. It looks so funny because Anderson was scared shitless, but then he just turns into rage, and Brodie's like, "Oh, you want some? Well, come in and get some." And of course, stupidly, Anderson gets into the ring. At this point, Alex Reynolds runs to the ring, but eats that oh so great, oh so awesome Arn Anderson spine buster. No one does it better. Crowd pops huge for that move. But Anderson will receive a chained fist from Brodie for his efforts, and he bumps to the outside. Cody takes advantage of that distraction to hit Brodie with an axe handle to the back, and then Cody follows it up with a roll-up for a 2 count. Cody does the drop-down punch to Brodie. Cody fires up again, wraps the chain around his fist, and punishes Brodie some more with shots to the face and gut. Cody snapmares Brodie and then uses the chain to choke Brodie. Cody, at this point, you can tell Cody wants this win. He is definitely in the middle, pulling out that vicious side of himself. He has to win this match. He wants his respect back. He wants his title back. So then Cody goes to the top rope, hits a beautiful moonsault on Brodie Lee for a 1, a 2, and no. Brodie says, I ain't done yet. Brodie gets a few kicks on Cody, but Cody's able to hit crossroads on Brodie Lee for wow. Brodie just kicks out at 1 emphatically, and Brodie fires up. Now he wants to win. He knows he has to win. He wants to retain his title. He wants to retain his dominance. Cody attempts a vertebreaker on Brodie, but Brodie blocks it and nails Cody with a huge super kick. Wham! Right in the face. Brodie follows up with a power bomb for a 1, a 2, but Cody's not ready to go home yet either. And the match continues. Both men are now bleeding. Both men are beat up. Both men have come close to getting the friggin' elusive win, but the match will continue. Both men roll to the floor, where Cody pulls Brodie into the ring post using the chain. Both men back into the ring. Cody goes up to Brett's rope, but Brodie intercepts Cody with a palm strike to the chest. Brodie joins Cody on Brett's rope and hits Cody with a nice superplex. Brodie, however, cannot follow up, so there's no pin attempt here, because now both men are down and they're both selling. Both of these guys have been beating the crap out of each other, and they're both selling it perfectly for me. Great stuff right here. Keep it up. Love this. I see the ref is counting for some reason. It's a dog collar match. Pin or submission only. Come on, ref. At this point, the replay shows the superplex on the overhead angle. Love that stuff. I think, as far as I know, AEW is the only company that does this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. Always comment. Appreciate it. Cody slams Brodie's head into the mat a couple times. Cody runs the rope, but Brodie ends up catching Cody with a release dragon suplex. Looked really good. I think Brodie looks like Brodie thinks he's got this. Brodie's starting to he's like this is over. I got this. So what's he going to follow up with? And of course he goes for his patented discus lariat, but Cody somehow dodges the lariat and hits Brodie with the final cut. And then Cody takes the chain and just wraps it around Brodie's head, around his eyes, his nose, and his mouth, and just yanks back on it. It looks so brutal. It's like a see no evil, smell no evil, taste no evil kind of a thing. It just pulled back on it. And Brodie Lees just selling it like a boss. Cody punishes Brodie with 5 elbows to Brodie's chained head. And then Cody absolutely demolishes Brodie with a crossroads. And at 20 minutes, 25 seconds, we get a 1, we get a 2, and we get a 3. Cody gets the win, the victory, the TNT title, and most importantly, his respect. All right, so now both men are pretty much down on the mat. They're selling they continue to sell. The bell's already rung, they're still selling. Friggin' pros to the end. Love it. All right. So after the bell's over, Cody eventually gets joined in the ring by Brandy, Dustin, and Arn Anderson. And while that's happening, the Dark Order comes out and gathers up their Exalted One and take him to the back. And as Tony comes to the ring, he grabs a mic. Tony comes to the ring with the mic. He says, "Great match" to the crowd. He says, "This was an excellent match. Congratulations," and then congratulates Cody. Cody says, and this is probably the line of the night, and it still hits now today, is that it feels good to perform in front of a live crowd. Facts. All right, Cody says, I'm not quoting him here. This is paraphrasing. Cody says he has always wanted the crowd support. Cody says he won't change he won't change himself if it means betraying his fans. Cody says he will stick with the people to the very end. Cody says his life's work is to be a professional wrestler, and you fans have made this happen for me. Cody then declares an open challenge for the following week's anniversary show. And then so Tony asks Cody, who will you defend the title against? And before Cody can really answer, we see Orange Cassidy walking out. He stands there. Yep, just standing there. And he puts up his half thumb. Freshly squeezed chant breaks out. Cody walks to the ropes, looks at Orange Cassidy, gives him a thumbs up as well. And Tony Schiavone declares that we have Cody versus Orange Cassidy for the following week's anniversary show for the TNT title. A little bit more celebrating in the ring by Cody and his Nightmare family, and then we cut to black. Okay. Whew. I got my ass kicked watching that match. Okay, all right. So this match was great. Storyline-centric match that delivered. They have a story where Cody wants to regain his respect. The title maybe, but the respect is what he really wants. And Brodie's looking to defend his title and continue the dominance of the Dark Order. In this match, we saw selling. Obviously, I'm a mark for selling. Stiff and snug strikes and high-impact moves, and these guys made every move count. This match was methodical, and at the same time, this match was methodical. Every move made sense. I don't think there was a dull spot anywhere in the match. I don't think. Everything was done for a reason. There was breathing room between every move. Everything everything meant something, and I dig that as well. Both men played their respective roles. Cody was showing his heart, but also at the same time, he knew he had to dig deep, bring up the American Nightmare viciousness that he's been known for, that he doesn't want to do unless he has to, because he has to do it to win. Brodie Lees is a big monster, and that's what his role was. He delivers devastating moves to Cody, busts Cody open. In fact, Lee pushes Cody to those drastic measures. It's a great little story in the match. And that was the only way Cody was going to win, was with those drastic measures. And Brodie could have very well won this match, but it wasn't meant to be. Brodie loses this match. As far as I'm concerned, both these guys could feud forever, for all I care, but we don't get that. They just complement each other so well. They have obvious chemistry. It would have been nice to see if these two could have culminated their rivalry with an even bigger match, where Brodie goes over, he gets the rub, and he continues his rise up the ranks, and the Dark Order goes with him. And then Cody could just move on to another rivalry. He could possibly move up to a match with Omega or Hangman Page or John Moxley or whoever's available. There's no feud that Cody goes through where it's not a main event. But unfortunately, we as humans sometimes don't always get what we want. We don't always get the nice things. And tragically so in this case. The only spot I didn't like in the match was the table spot. And it wasn't for the fact that it was a table spot. It was obvious that Lee did not hit the table head first. In fact, he didn't hit the table at all. Cody took the bump into the table, and so he didn't even touch the table. And then that was the part where you see him. He bladed at some point, and he got himself busted open. To me, that was not the ideal spot for that. And I believe they could have done that better. They had a chain, for fuck's sake. Why not use the chain to bust somebody open? That's all I'm saying. That was the only part of the match I didn't like, and so I was really going to give it a 10. I really wanted to, but I had to downgrade it to a 9. Like I said, if you guys want to comment your comments on this match, your ratings for this match, by all means, put it in the comments. And I just want to finish up this review by giving a shout out to Luke Harper, Brodie Lee, John Huber. You're one and the same. All those guys are one and the same. And we did a review of you, and your loss comes at definitely an infrequent time. You were on your way to bigger and better things. And I don't know what to say because sometimes our favorite guys in this business leave too early. We're all marks for the guys who do it really good. Whether they win belts or not is irrelevant. And you were one of those guys. So I'm going to end this review with I'm going to be back for another one, and you know what that means.